out is HTML. That's the first
Okay.
language of the website, of the web, of any web application. So, and I said HTML is built into tag. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
HTML is built into tags, and the first kind of tag we have in HTML is the open and the close tag. Basically, there are two of them, and the open tag is just a bracket open and close. That's your less than and greater than. That's open tag. So the closing of this one is going to be less than or greater than. This is the closing of this. All right. If peradventure now, if I want to write anything here like p is an element inside that tag. All right. P again, I have to open word P and I have to close P. So this is a paragraph tag. If I type in something and I say peace, okay, peace Abiodun, and type something here, I save it. Mind you, you notice that my file is saved with the index.html. This is the file extension, all right, for HTML file. All right, index.html. You must put it. You can see when you save it, this thing is having your lesser than or your greater than symbol there. That will show that you are using what HTML. By the time you save this and you try to go live, I think go live will not work well, but let me just use it. You go live. Now you can see what I just typed is showing on the other side of my screen. Let me divide the screen to two for you.
Yes, I've seen it.
So you can see that piece Abiodun is showing on the browser. Alright, what is showing here is actually what this is actually a browser. This is a browser, alright. Why this is my what ID? Remember I said well, you need two tools. You need your ID, which is your code editor, and you need your what your browser. Alright, whatever you type here will appear. That's one thing about that's the paragraph and elements. That's the P elements paragraph element inside that. Peradventure, I want to have a heading, a bigger write up. I can say H1. Now the H is the heading family. It's ranging from H1 to H6. The highest is H1, while the lowest is what? It's H6. So if I say heading, this is my words, my heading. Alright, this is my heading words here. If I save this and I refresh this guy here, you will see it appear. This is my heading here. You can see that this text is bolder than this other piece of Abiodun. Piece of Abiodun is a paragraph element or a paragraph tag. Why this is my heading is what is heading element or heading words tag. Is that okay? Now the next thing you need to know is what if I want to have a button click here? I want to have a button and when I click on the button bring out something. So we also have element in HTML that is called the button what element. Alright, if you pass in your button here, then you pass in, let's say I pass in something like send, I save it. If I refresh this, you see a button pop out here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You see a button
Yes, sir.
pop out here, which is what this is actually a button. Anything that you can click is what they call button. We have other family like your the input. For example, input is also an element. If I call my input element, okay, now this input element is one element that is a self-closing element, okay. It's a self-closing element. What do I mean by self-closing element? You can see when I call the h1 I have to open it and I close it. The paragraph I have to open it and also close it. All right, the button I have to open it and also close it. Is that okay? But for
Yes,
this
sir.
guy you may not close it, but immediately I save this and I refresh, something will pop out here. You can see something here. I can type anything here. I can type my name, I can type peace here. All right,
Okay.
and I send, and this can be what can be sent. All right, now that's that about that. Okay, about those elements in your HTML. The next element that you can have, let me turn this on to uh, something meaningful. Intro to, let's say, introduction class. I save this, I refresh here, so I should be having introduction class there. All right, now what we want to quickly do, we want to quickly build a web page, a simple web page whereby we can have some things on it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so what I'm going to do right now is peradventure I want this guy to be bold. Okay, I don't like the way it is right now. I can't. Let me use everything to be capital letter. Introduction. Introduction. Okay, introduction class. All right, so I should be good. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to look at here, I want this guy to appear. If I maximize this browser, you can see it's at one side of my screen. I want it to be at the side of my screen, at the center of my screen. Okay, so what do I need to do in that case? What I need to do there is I'll just style it here. All right, you can style it. That's styling. I call my style tag here, my style attribute. So the next thing I should call should be I want to move it. There's another attribute called text align. All right, I'll call my text align. I will not pass in word center. If I save this and I refresh, you see that this thing appear on the center. You can see now it's now appearing on the center of the screen instead of one side of the word of the screen that it was initially. All right,
Okay,
if
sir.
that is okay, if you don't understand anything, let me know.
I'm with you, sir.
If this is okay, then the next thing we're going to look at is how do you underline this content here, this introduction class. Sometimes you may want to underline it to give you some effects. So what I'm going to pass here, that thing is called the uh every tag has attributes. Tag is an attribute inside the word, the h1 tag there. So what I'm
Okay,
going
sir.
to call in here, I'm going to call um uh text decoration because I want to underline it. This is a property and the value is what underline. If I call this guy, I save and I refresh, you see that there is an underline on that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to pass in here, you can see I can pass it something like I can color it. I can just say color. So if I call color, all right, I can just pass in any color here. Let's say I'm using color like let's say I'm using brown color. If you save and you refresh, you see that the color is what is brown, but this is like
Okay,
red.
sir.
All right, now that's that about that. Now if
Okay,
this is
sir.
okay, I want to have something like a header. Something this is going to be like something like a header, and I'll be able to pass in things inside that I want to pass inside. So what I need to do, that will take me to the 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 U elements. Okay, the UL and the OL elements. The UL means on order list, while the OL means order list. All right, let's assume that I want to have a list of items. I went to the market, I pass in this. So I said piece went to the market to buy the following words items. Things went to the market to buy the following items. You should know that it will appear. Okay, it's appear there, right? Then the next thing that should come into your mind is how do you list your items. So we have two way of listing items in your HTML. It's called the UL. All right, the other guy is called the UL, so you're going to see the difference. When you call your UL, the next thing is to get your what, your li. Let's say if you went to the market to buy rice, so you can list your items here. All right, buy rice, beans, buy rice, beans, let's say gari, let's say gari, bread, fruits, and food and clothes. So she went to the market to buy these items. You can see You see how this one will come like a bullet, all right? It will come like a bullet on your browser. So the bullet that you are seeing on your browser, this one was not, this one, there's a mistake here. So this is the UL. The other one is the UL. So what I will just need to do here, I'll turn this to, so I will turn this one to UL. So I'll just copy this one from here, from this one, copy down. So what I'll just do, instead of that U, where you have U, just turn it to what? To O. Hmm? Where you have U, turn it to what? To O. That's what this one means, ordered lists. Hmm? This one means ordered what?
Okay, sir.
List. So if you refresh this now, you can see that this one is coming in alphabetical, in ascending order, 1 2 3 to what? To 6. This one number 8, while the other one is what? Is giving it a what? A bullet. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Can hear you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir.
All right. So the next thing we are going to look out is we want to have heading on top of this thing here, so that we know what we are going to be doing. So what I'm going to pass in here to get my heading, I will use this guy to get my heading, but I would like to pass it after the piece Abiodun. So let me say here I will have my UL here. All right. So what I'm going to get having here is the li. So this li is going to have anchor. Now let me quickly explain the anchor tag or the anchor element. The anchor element is the A element. You can see the syntax there. The A, then your href. The href there is just like upper reference. Sometimes you want to navigate from one web page to another web page, or from one web browser to another web browser. So that's what this hyperlink or hyperreference is doing. Okay, so what I will need to do is I will pass in the link. Let's say what I want to get in here is this should lead to home. This should lead to home. By the time I save, at least you will see home there. Alright, the next thing I want to bring out here is about contacts, about contacts. Alright, so this one will be about us, while this one will be contact us. Alright, by the time you refresh, you will see the thing will look awkward, but I want to turn this thing to be like a what? A header. Alright, so if I want it to be like a header, let me take it up. So I want it to be like a header. The next thing I'm going to do here, I will convert this guy to a display. I'll just style it. Alright, now in styling of your browser, that is called styling of your browser is called CSS. And in code, in CSS is divided into 3. We have the inline CSS,
Okay.
the inline CSS, the internal CSS, and the external CSS. Alright, every code I'm writing right now, I'm using the inline CSS. So what then is the
Okay,
inline
sir.
CSS? The inline CSS is when you're writing your code inside your element.
Okay.
You're writing your code inside your element. That's called inline CSS. So that's what I'm doing right now. So when I get to
Okay.
internal CSS, I will let you know that I'm doing internal CSS. Just CSS means your styling or beautification of your web page or your browser. Alright, that is the meaning of CSS. So what I'm going to pass in here now, I'll pass in my style attribute. Alright, I'll give this guy a display. Alright, display is a property. Alright, I want it to display horizontally. I'll give it what? A value of flex. By the time I save this and I refresh this browser, you see that the thing is coming out in horizontal instead of the way it is before. All right, that is what that one is doing. Then the next thing I would like to remove, I would like to remove those bullets. So if I want to remove that bullet, that's called list style. Set your list style, which is going to be property. The value is going to be what? None. Set your list style. So if you refresh, you see that there is nothing there again. Are you with me? So the next thing I'm going to do here to get my styling, I'm going to get my justify. There's a property called justify content. You can say space space evenly. By the time I save this and I refresh, you will see there will be space. All right, there will be space across. Are you getting it? Even when you
Yes.
increase this now, you can see that there's still space in this home, about, and what contact. All right, is that okay? But
Yes, I'm with you,
the
sir.
next thing I'm going to do is this my paragraph tag. I want to take it down.
Okay.
Yep, so that it should not be inside that place. All right, I have something like this now. Now the next thing I'm going to do, you can see there is underline. This guy is having underline. Okay, I mean, you are most of these header on website, they are not having underline. So what I will do here, I'll go to this anchor. This is going to be a difficult method, but we are going to do or use other method. I'll go to my anchor tag. I'll also style the anchor tag. All right, if I style the anchor tag, I will just get the what, the text decoration. I'll get the text decoration. I'll set it to be what, to be none. So when I set the text decoration to be none, you see that home will not have what, line. You can see home is not having line there. So that means I need to replicate this guy in the rest there. So I'll have to pass this one here. So I save, then I refresh. So you can see that all of them, they don't have underline there again. Did you get it? They don't have underline there again. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do, probably I want to get a background for my header.
Okay.
So if I want to get a
Okay.
background color for my header,
Okay.
I will just go straight to uh, this my UL here, this guy here. Then I'll just call background words. I'll call background color. So let's say the background color I want to give to that header should be, let's say, let me say gray, because I don't want to use anything hexadecimal. If I say gray and you refresh this, you can see that it's now color to be what, gray. All right,
Yes,
now
sir.
when it's
Yes.
color to be gray, you notice that this color you have inside there is no longer showing. All right, these
Yeah.
colors are no longer showing. So what you need to do, you can turn the
Change
what,
the
the
color.
color to what, you call your property of color. You call your property of color, then you like to change it to what, to white. So if you change it to white, I think this guy will have to be in all of them. That's why this method is complex. Call your color, then give it what, white. Then call the
Okay.
color here, this one. So I'll call the color here,
Let's go. Okay, sir.
then I'll give it what, white. I'll save. If I refresh, you will see that the color will change to what, the color is not showing. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do now, probably I want to increase the height of this thing. You can just go to your UI, this one here. Okay, and go to and call your what, your height property. Height is also a property. If I say up to me, I want it to be fixed, but I don't want it to be fixed. Let me give it a height of let's say 20 pixels. Let me see what 20 pixels is going to produce. 20 pixels is not making sense for me. Let me say 50 pixels. All right, you can see 50 pixels makes sense, but what do you observe about 50 pixels? The text is on what, is on top.
It's up.
Yes,
Yes.
it's up. So how do we bring it to be at the center? And this edge, you can see that this one is having edge. I mean, we may want to
Yes.
remove that also. So let's format that. So if you want to get that done, you can see come back here. All right, come back here. There's a property called align words, align items. If you have gotten a flex, so align items, I can say center. If I say center, everything will be at the words. You can see that it's back to the words, to the center. Even when you maximize it, it's at the center of your words, of the background. All right, now I want to remove this edge from my browser. You go to the body. All right, I don't even have a body here right now. Okay, so what I will need to do in this case, uh since I don't have a body here, but I want to get that effect done on my words, on my application. Okay, so what I will do in that case, I will just bring in an internal styling, but in this case I will target everywhere. This is actually internal. Okay, then I'm looking at the body, or mm, I'm looking at the body now. That will take me, let me quickly give you the proper structure of your HTML skeleton. HTML skeleton has all called, we have what called the head, the body, and the what, the footer. All right, the head, the body, and the footer. The other one is the HTML itself. Now if you want to get the structure properly, you want to get the structure properly, so what I will need to do, you just press shift 1. That's, we call it the boilerplate. That's actually called the what, the boilerplate, and some people call it the skeleton of your words, of your HTML. So when you press shift then 1, 1 is exclamation, that is second function. Now you press enter. This is actually the what, the skeleton of your words, of this code. So what I will do here, right here, everything that we have typed so far, okay, I will move them inside. So I'll move everything that we have typed so far inside. All right, inside the word, the body. Okay, if I save it and I refresh, nothing will happen. I'm still fine. Do you get? I'm still fine. But this is actually this syntax. This is the proper skeleton of your words, HTML. So what I want to quickly do right now, I want to make the body, I want to make the body and everything that you see there to be uh so that they will not have a padding, neither would they have a what, a margin. So I'll quickly come in here. All right, I'll call my style property. Okay, now this case, this time around, I am looking at the asterisk. Then uh, I should be looking at let me do it well. Let me do it well. So let me do internal styling. Let me use internal styling to handle that. I'll call my style.
Okay.
So I'll call this guy here. This asterisk means I am targeting everything. Okay, I'm giving the margin, all margin to be 0. All right, then all padding to be what, to be 0. All margin to be 0, all padding to be what, 0. So by the time I save this, all right, you can see that my site is now what, no padding again, no margin. I don't know if you saw what happened.
Yes, there's no space at
No
the
space
edge.
at the edge. Yeah, no space at the edge again. So I have made everything to be what, to have a what, a 0 padding and a 0 margin. You got to understand what padding and margin is later. This is just, this is supposed to be introduction. Okay, but let's just proceed on.
Because I'm kind of being scared that
Hmm?
Oluwa o. I said I'm scared somehow the way the work is coming in.
Are you sure you can carry it?
I can, I can.
Because this is this is basic. Oh. There is still
Yes, sir.
mhm, there are still other difficulties in ahead. Oh. This is
Yes, sir.
just
But
basic.
will I be able to get this note the way it is?
I will send it to you on your WhatsApp when I'm done.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. I really appreciate that. I will. I will. Let's continue, sir.
Okay, now you can see that there's no margin, there's no padding. So what is there is now that I am going to put in my own padding. I'm going to put in my own what margin. That's what this thing is
Okay.
all about. All right. Now the first margin I want to pass this piece Abiodun. Where is it
Okay.
here? I got that with the paragraph tag, which is a p tag.
Okay.
So this piece Abiodun, I got it with a p tag. So what I will do here, I'll come in here, I will style it.
Okay.
So I'll call margin. Now I want to space the left. So that space outside is called margin. The space outside is called margin. The space
Okay.
outside element is called margin. The space inside element is called padding. So I'm going to call the
Okay.
margin left. The margin left, I want to space it from the left. Let's say I gave you something like 5 watts pixels. You can see that Pisadisa shifts out of it a bit. Pisabiodun is
Yes.
shift out of it because I've given it a
Yes.
padding of 5 pixels. So let me
Okay.
make that 5 pixels to be replicated for others.
Okay, sir.
So what I'm going to do here, this is the Pisabiodun. I'll just copy this guy here.
Okay.
Copy this guy here. I want this one to come outside too. I want this one to come outside too. So by the time you save it, you notice now that all of them they're having a merge. You can see them.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
space now, but
The
this other one,
OL.
the OL. So
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
just pass it there and save.
Okay.
You can see the OL is now
Okay.
having a margin. If you maximize your
Yes.
sites, but I think that 5 is too small.
It's
Let me
small
give
because
it.
of the dots. It's not
Mm,
coming out.
let me give it a bigger size. Let me give it
Okay, sir.
something like 15 pixels.
Okay, sir.
15 pixels. Where is the Pisabiodu now?
Oh, this is
All right,
okay.
this is it here. So I want to turn off 5. Everywhere I have 5.
To 15.
So
15.
this one I've picked.
That's 50. Oh.
I've picked 50. That 50 is for the heights.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes.
So I want to turn it to 15 pixels.
Okay, sir.
I think it's still obvious kind of.
Yes.
Or what we do, let's not make our margin to be 0. Let's make our margin from here to be 15 pixels so that everything will follow from. Yes.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's I will not be disturbing myself with this one.
Okay.
All right. The next thing I'm going to pass in here
Yes, sir.
is is let's say Praventure. I want to have my own page whereby I'll have picture. I have picture on the home page. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I have picture at this side of the browser. At this other side of the browser, I will want to have something like an article.
Okay.
Okay. I want to have something like an article. Please let me remove that introduction because is that thing supposed to be at the edge. So let me remove it.
Okay.
This one.
Adi.
It's supposed to be I want the header supposed to come at the edge. So let me comment it out. Yes, it's supposed to
Okay.
be like this. Hmm?
Okay. 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 Okay.
So what I'm going to pass in now is this is the design I want to get. I want to get picture will be here. The right up will be what? Will be here. Picture will be here. Right up will be there. But I think I need to convert this guy to 0. But don't worry about those one that is no margin. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. So, but I just want to, yeah, a perfect design. So the next thing I'm going to do here is
Carry your bag.
for me to get that design that I want is I'll come here. All right, I'll come here. Now there's something called div, which is like a container in HTML. All right, I want to pass everything inside a container. And if you have gone to some websites, you will see they will have session, they will have article, they will have main. Some of them will even have a navbar and stuff like that. But this time around, I will call it session. Let's call it session. Alright. Now inside this session, I want to have 2 container inside. This is the div 1. Then I want to have another div here. This is what div 2. Alright. Okay. So this div 2. So this div 2 will be the write up. I can say, okay, paragraph, give me Lauren, give me 50. Lauren, give me 50 character. I save it. I press enter. You see some dummy text. It's just a dummy text. To generate dummy text, that's when we use that, Lauren. I want to generate dummy text on my browser. Dummy text has something like a Russian text that you unreadable. By the time you save, by the time I save, you can see it appear on top there. Alright, now you will notice something here, because this is the only guy I have presently there. If I come down here and I say on this div here, I bring you something there. I said paragraph, I called your name, I said peace, I put peace here. Alright, you see that there everything is just going on the same div, alright, but it's not properly what aligned. Then what I'm going to do is I want to give a space down here. I want this guy to have a space. I'll go to the main, I'll go to the session, I will style it, I'll call a style, then sorry, my bad, I'm supposed to be inside. So I'll call my style, then I'll call I'll call margin bottom. Remember we have said if the space outside is called margin. The margin bottom, let's say I want to give it 50 pixels. I don't want, 50 pixels will be very old. You can see that this guy has adjusted now. Alright, but what I want to quickly bring in here, let me even comment this guy out because he's making this thing look awkward. So let's assume that this is just introduction. Let's comment it out. So if you want to comment out, you press Ctrl//. So what is the meaning of comment? Comment means you are making that code to be what? Non-executable. You are making it not to be worked, not to be active on your browser. That is the full meaning of what? Of comments. Alright, you comment code that you don't want to appear. Now let me quickly show you how to bring picture into your browser. That's another key thing that you still need to know in the course. How do I bring in picture into this browser? Alright, so let's assume that I have picture. The picture that I want to bring in, let me check if I have picture on my system. I don't like this. Alright, let me see if I can use this. Let me see if I can use the WhatsApp. So I want to bring this picture inside my browser. WhatsApp 2024 JPG. Alright, so you copy the picture then you take it to where your folder, where your directory is located. For example, I save your work here. I think I call it online class. Then this is your class here. No, this is my text too. All right, this is your class here. I'll put the picture. I'll create a folder here. Let me create a folder here. Let's call it images. All right, so I'll save the picture in here. I'll draw the picture here. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, this name is too long, so I will have to rename it. All right, click on the text, the wherever you copied the image you copy there, then you click on what, rename. So you click on rename. I can just say display. Let me call it display. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Let's call it display. Let's say display. All right, now the other thing you need to take note of, the extension. The extension is JPEG. All right,
Yes, sir.
that's the extension of this file. You can also check your properties to be sure. You see the extension here. You see JPG.
Yes, sir.
I should see details. So you can see, you see JPEG. You can see the extension there, JPEG. So what I will need to do now to bring that into my environment, there is another tag called image tag. The image tag is iWords. They call it img words tag. Call your img tag. I'm having a problem. Img. Call your img tag. Then the next thing that this guy is looking for is the location of your file. Remember, we'll call images. Then the next thing is what, display the word JPEG. If I save, you see it appear on your browser. This is the image. Okay, but the image is so big that is fooling everywhere on your browser. So what I'm going to do in that case is I will style this one. So I'll pass in, I'll make it small. Now in image, what is actually relevant in the styling is actually the width. So I will turn the width to be 300 pixels. Now if I save, you notice that it's now smaller. Can you see that it's now smaller, unlike before?
Yes, sir.
So 300 what, pixels. Now that's 300 pixels. The next thing I want to do, you can see that this guy is still coming down, but I want it to be, image should be here, then this one should be what, there. So what I'm going to do is I will come back to this place, all right, where I declare my session. I declare my session somewhere here. All right, I'll come back to this session. All right, then I will call another property called display that we did previously in that class, in that UL display. I'll convert it to words. I'll give the value of words of flex. You can see that when I give the value of flex, they are now on different side. This is on its own, while this one is words is on its own. All right, so what I will do again is, let me increase that picture a bit. I think let me make it like 400. Make it 400. Okay, so this place now, you can see that there is no space here, but you can allow space to be there. So for you to have space, for you to allow space to be there, there's a property you call, which is called the column gap. All right, one is called the row gap, while the other one is called the column gap. Since it's column space that I want to get, I'll just come in here. All right, I'll just come in here. I'll call the column words. I'll call the column gap. So let's say the column gap, the gap I want to give, let's give it a gap of 10 pixels, and let's see what we're going to have. You can see now there's a gap here now. All right, a gap of 10 words pixels that we have there. Now another thing you will notice in this particular application is that this one is taking the entire space. It's having a flexibility there. So what I'm going to do is I can make the width, I can set a width to that for that guy there, which is going to be for this guy. So I'm going to give this guy a style, and this style is going to have a what? A width. It's going to have a width of let me say I'm giving it a width of 300 pixels. Let me see what 300 pixels is going to produce. You can see that is now 300 pixels is not making sense for me. Or what I would do, what if I say 500 pixels? So 500 pixels. Now since it's a display, all right, you can give it a flex of 1. All right, probably next class I'm going to explain everything properly for you. I give it a flex of what? A flex of 1, since it's already a flex. All right, then this one, I'm going to give this one, this other div here, I'm going to give this one a width of 300 pixels. Sorry, a width style. I need to call my style width of 300 pixels. All right, now you see, now when I gave it a width of 300 pixels, this guy went inside.
Yes,
Okay, because this one is giving a display of what? Flex. All right, so what I'm going to do in that case, if I make this guy to be flex of 1 2, will I be in a good shape? I make this one to be flex of what? Flex of 1. All right, yes, you can see that this one push to this other side. All right, because this one is also occupying his own words space. Then if that one is flex of 1, I converted this one to flex of 2. You see there will still be an adjustment. Sorry, my bad. All right, I think is better this way. Then you can see now that you notice that the texts are too close together. I can add more text. Let's add more text. I can say Lorem, Lorem, give me another 50 character. All right, okay. Now the next thing now I'm going to look at, you notice that these texts that you are seeing here, they are clumsy together. So what the style to correct that is let me leave it as flex 1. Now the style to correct that, this one shouldn't be flex. Let me just leave this one like that.
See the image, okay.
The image. Yes, let me leave it like this. All right, now let me now the texts are jam packed kind of. So for me to correct that, there is a property called line heights. You can see there, if I say line height 20 watts pixels, line height is simply the space in between your text. The space in between your text. I have something like this. Okay, this is telling me that there is a problem somewhere. All right, all right, the space in between your text is called what? Line height. Okay. I have this style of this. Okay, you notice that you are not seeing the effect because I went to pass it inside the div. It's not supposed to be in the div, it's supposed to be in the paragraph element there. It's supposed to be this one. So why is this one not flagging error? All right, so let me close this guy. So it's supposed to be inside here, style. Okay, so I'll pass in the line height here. If I save this, line height, yes, I'm good. All right, line height 20 pixels is not really obvious. It's not really obvious yet. Uh, line height, let me give something like 50 pixels so that you see, make it, you see the that it to be obvious. You can see it now. 50 pixels. So that's the space in between your text is all called line height. But let me take it back to, let's use something like 40 pixels. 40 pixels. All right, I think this one is better now. All right, now you notice now this one is too close again. You can go back and call your your column gap.
Place.
So you call your column gap here. Okay, you call your column gap here. Let me say this column gap, let me increase it to something like 30. Yes, it's better like this for me. Now you notice that this image is kissing your tab, your header. So how do I have space in between there? I'm going to call something still inside here. I'm going to call the margin top. I'm going to call the margin top. I have margin bottom, so let me call margin top here. Yes, margin top. I want to have a space on top. Margin top, let's say 20 watts or pixels. So what do you observe? There's a space here and what and here.
Yes, yes.
Do you understand? Are you
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
all right? Now, quickly, I can decide to increase the size of this image. I want the image to be to increase. Let's make that image to have to be more than how it is. Let's say 700. I think that image can carry 700. Yes, let it be like this.
Yes.
Now the next thing we're going to do is that I want this image to have edge. Can you see my cursor? Ife,
Okay.
this
Yes,
image,
sir.
it should be rounded. It should be rounded.
Okay,
It
sir.
should not be, I want to get that effect. So what I will need to call here, you have to call border word radius. Please hold on, I'm coming. Right.
Ṣé olóòrùn? Ṣé o tún fowó lọ ni?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, so I want to
Hello,
have
hello,
a,
sir. Hello,
yes,
sir.
I want to have curve. I want to have a curve here on my image.
Okay,
So you
sir.
get, so how do I get that effect? Go back to that image. I'll have to go back to that image. I think this is the image here. There is a property called border radius. Okay, there's a property called border radius. I'll call my border radius. All right, now if I give my border radius to be 29 pixels, just observe the image. Now I targeted the image, then I gave it a border radius. When I maximize it, you can see that there is a curve. Do you see that there is a curve here? The image.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure you are with me?
Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir. There is a curve there. I
There's a
saw it, sir.
there's a curve here and there's a curve here. All right,
There is
so
a curve. Yes, yes.
So now if this is cool by you, then let me go and remove this piece that I'm seeing here. So it's making this thing somehow. Where am
Okay.
I seeing piece? This piece is coming from somewhere.
Is here. Scroll down,
Okay,
sir.
yeah, I think it's here.
The paragraph.
Yes.
Yes.
So let
Yes.
me remove it so that you can see now what we have. So the next thing I'm going to have now is I want to have something like a button here. Hmm? I want to have something like a button, two buttons. One will be
Okay.
a button that will go to read more, the other will go to what? To contacts, right? So let's have that button there.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm going to pass in, this is the, I'm going to bring another, the same concept I did there is what I want to do here. I'll call a div, then inside this div, I'll have two divs. No, I don't need to have two divs. I can
Okay.
get button, so, or let me not use button. Let's use button. This button should be read more. So why this other one should be contacts. So this one should be what? Contact us.
Contact.
All right. When you save it, you see something appear here, but it's not going to look good, kind of. So
Yes.
what I'm going to do is I want to put it at the edge, so I can just call my style. All right. Um, I'll call padding. Let's say padding. I'll pad it to the left. Pad it to the left. So I want it to be at the center. All right. Pad it to the left. Let me say padding left. I gave it 50 pixels. Let me see the movement. I think it's cool. All right. Let me move it more. Let's say 80 pixels. It's not better like this. Then the next thing I'm going to have
Yes.
here, or let's say 100. Sure. Yeah, let me leave it like this. Then I'll bring it down. So if I'm bringing it down, that should be margin bottom. Uh, let me see. If I'm bringing it down, let me call margin top. The space outside is margin. Margin top, let's say I want to have something like 50 watt pixels. Okay, okay, I think I'm okay. Then the next thing that I would do, I want to work on this button. I want to have a space in between these buttons.
Okay,
So
sir.
what I will have to pass in here, I'll call this style here. I'll call it
Okay.
style here. So I'll call margin right. Yeah, I'll call, even if I call margin left, it's still the same thing. Margin what right. So I want to have a space in between. Then the margin right I'm having here, let's say I want to have something like a 10 pixels in between these buttons. Okay, 10 pixels is not good enough. Let's say I'm having 50 watts pixels. Good. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I would like to increase this button. All right. So what I would do in increasing the button size, I will just call, still inside this guy here, I'll call the padding. So I'll call the padding. So I'm going to give it a padding. I'm going to give it a padding. Uh,
Okay, sir.
a padding. Let's say, let me give it padding top. Give it a padding top. Padding top of let's say 14 pixels. Padding top of 15 pixels.
Okay.
Then you will see there will be space. You can see that there's a space here. All right. Then the padding
Yes.
bottom, I also call the padding bottom. padding bottom of 14 pixels. So you can see this button is out. Then the padding right, I'm going to have a padding right, padding right, padding right. Let me give it something like 10 pixels. You can see there's a space by the right. Padding right, 10 pixels. Then padding left, padding left. Let's give it 10 pixels also. Okay, you can see the padding left is 10 pixels. I don't think the padding right came out. What happened to the padding right? Oh,
Yes.
instead of 0 I want to type O. So as you can see now, this is the padding words, padding of the button. All right, so the next thing I'm going to have the same effect. So you are going to do this one for me. If I will send you the file, I don't know,
Okay,
I'll send
sir.
you the file. You make this one,
Is
you
it the
do.
button? The
Yeah,
contact us?
at us, but I'm not through this one
Okay,
yet,
okay,
Sha.
sir.
Every effect I will do here, you do it this one, you
All
take
right,
it
sir.
as assignment and you do it by yourself.
All
So
right, sir.
the next thing I want to pass
Okay,
in
sir.
there is I want to give the border, I want to remove border. There's something called border style. So I will set the border style to be none. So if I set border style to be none, you see that
Okay.
there's no border again. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to
Yes,
pass in
sir.
here,
There's no
I'm
border.
going to give it a border color. Let's say, let me give it a border color of this one here.
Okay, sir.
The border color of that. There is a color there. Then I can give it a background color, a background color
Okay, sir.
of this. Let me give you this background color. All right. So for the text to appear, let's give it
Okay, sir.
a color. For you to color a text is color, a color of white. I
Okay,
think
sir.
white is good. So you can see that there.
Okay,
All
sir.
right. So
Okay, sir.
this you are going to do this one for me. You are going to do this
All
contact
right,
for
sir.
me. Then the next thing I want to add here is when this cursor gets into this place, I want this cursor to change to hand. I'm going to be ending. I will end this class in
Okay.
the next in the next 10 minutes or so, because this is supposed to be introduction. I have gone far.
Okay, sir.
I will end this in the next 10 minutes. So
Okay,
what I'm going to
sir.
do here, um, what I'm going to do here, I want immediately my cursor gets into here. I want this guy to turn to what, to hand. Do we need to do that?
Yeah.
All right. So the let's not do that because that will take me to another advanced system. Let me stop here. Let me stop here. I will send this I will send this file to your
All right, no
WhatsApp.
problem.
I will send this file to your WhatsApp.
Okay. What about the code? The code that you did now? Will you send it to
And
me
I
or
will
not?
send this code to your WhatsApp too. I will send everything to your WhatsApp.
Okay,
So
sir.
you see it as a code. Okay. You see it as a code. You open it with your browser. That's when you that's what you can do. So let me just save.
Okay. I will open it with my browser.
You can open it
The
with
code.
your phone. No, you
I
use
can't. Oh God.
you
I
use
thought I'll be
system.
able to open it with my phone.
If you open with your phone,
To
you
open
cannot do
it.
anything with it. Oh. You can just go through it. You just read it. You need a system for you to
Okay,
practice.
to read
For
it alone.
yes, to read it. You can't do it.
Okay. Reading.
You can't.
Like I can work on it.
Yes, you can't do the assignment
Do any
with
practice on
phone.
it.
Yes, but you can read
Okay,
it.
okay. Yes, I know, sir.
So
All right, no
I want to
problem,
send you
sir.
the code. I want to send the code to your WhatsApp now.
Then, sir, I want to ask,
Mm.
the web browser you are using, what web browser are you using? You didn't tell me, sir.
Chrome browser. I'm using Chrome browser. You can see the symbol there.
All right, sir. Okay, and
So
the code, this thing,
I'm
the
using
HTML stuff.
VS Code,
Which one are you using, sir?
VS Code.
VS Code.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So I've sent the index file to you. Do you know the image will not appear? So what you need to do now, I think I should just drop the image there like that.
Okay,
Let me drop the image. Because if I zip it now, it's another
okay,
technical thing I'm putting you through. So let me drop the image there.
okay, okay, sir. Do,
So
do, okay, sir. You want me to design it the way you did it from head to toe, right?
yes, do it. Yeah, do it that way too.
O-
So
Okay, or only the contact us? Which one, sir?
you know, if you are doing that, only the contact us. You can just copy the code. Do only the contact us. No problem. Hmm? Only
All right, sir.
that
Okay, sir.
contact button.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Okay,
So
sir. Okay, sir.
let me quickly do something here. Let me quickly correct something on this your code so that you're not going to get
Okay,
issue.
sir.
Let me explain something here.
Okay.
You see this image here. You see this image. This image is working because it's inside the what
Okay.
images. Now, if you download this thing now, it will not be inside again. No. So what you need to do, you can just call it directly. Hmm? Let me just put it directly so that
Okay.
if you save it, you see the image will disappear. Not that you are wrong or not that I'm wrong, the
Okay.
image disappear. So what I need to do now, I'll go back to my file. I'll go back to my file. I have to bring that image out of that images. This is your class. I'll bring this image, I'll call it out, I'll place it here because you that you want to download now so that it will not give you issue. You can see now the image is what is back. Did you get it? So you can go to your WhatsApp and
Yes, sir.
download it directly and it will work fine for you. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. The class is also recorded. Probably later I will drop it on YouTube. But I need to know, I need to hear from Mr. Abiodun first before I do all this. I'll drop it on YouTube and I will send you the link in case you want to go through, you want to hear my voice and see what we are doing. It's also recorded. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I didn't record it. This one is not recorded. So I think I'm through with this class. Let me just do a screenshot of my browser and drop for you so that you see that this is what you did, what we did.
Okay, sir.
All right, when is our next meeting again?
That is Thursday, sir.
Thursday. All right, please just try and digest all of this because a lot
Yes,
have
sir.
been said here. Go through them and possibly I can ask you
Yes.
question. Maybe look for a system to do this one. If you don't have a system, I will just ask you question to do it, or I will give you access to my screen.
Okay.
I'll give you access to my system. Then you do it for me before I'll continue anything with you.
Okay.
All right. Have a nice day.
All
Thank you
right,
very
sir.
much.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Thanks so much, sir. Yes, sir.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.